Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this for a moment. You're standing at a point in life where everything feels like it's falling apart. The dreams you've worked for seem distant, the ground beneath you feels unstable, and the weight of disappointment presses hard on your chest. But what if I told you this moment, this very storm, could be the turning point for the greatest comeback of your life? What if this isn't the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary? Today, we're going deep into 10 powerful strategies that can turn your toughest setbacks into the foundation of your most remarkable comeback. These are the same principles used by those who have risen from rock bottom, people who didn't just recover, but rebuilt their lives stronger, wiser, and more focused than ever before. You don't have to let failure define you. You don't have to stay trapped in the past or repeat the story of what went wrong. This is your time, your moment to rise, to shift your mindset, to reclaim your power, and to turn your setback into the fuel for your transformation. Stay with me, because what we explore today could truly change the trajectory of your life. Setbacks are a part of every journey. No matter how smart you are, how prepared you think you've been, or how disciplined you are, life will test you. Plans will fall apart, people will walk away, paths that once felt clear will suddenly close. And in those moments, you face a defining choice. Will you crumble or will you rise? Setbacks are not endings. They're openings, powerful invitations to rebuild with greater clarity, insight, and purpose. But most people miss this truth. They allow pain to stop their progress. They confuse failure with identity and rejection with worth. Instead of rising, they freeze. Instead of learning, they retreat. But that doesn't have to be your story. You can train yourself to respond differently, to rise in the midst of ruins, to find lessons in loss, and to move forward even when it hurts. Because the truth is, resilience isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. The strongest people aren't those who avoid struggle, but those who transform through it. They don't break down and stay broken, they use the breakdown to break through. When they return, they're not the same, they're transformed. Every comeback begins with a single decision, a decision to stop replaying the pain and start focusing on progress. To stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? Because setbacks don't stop you staying stuck, does? The only thing worse than failure is living inside its memory. There comes a point when you have to stop waiting for permission, stop craving validation, and stop expecting the perfect plan. You simply decide, I'm not staying here. You choose strength over shame, action over excuses, and growth over fear. That decision isn't loud, it's quiet, made in the stillness of your own heart. It happens when you've had enough of being defined by defeat. And once that shift happens, you begin to move differently. You stop explaining your pain, you stop chasing approval, you stop defending what broke you, you start rebuilding. Comebacks don't demand perfection, they demand persistence. They don't require miracles, they require consistency. Every great story you've ever heard, every hero, every legend started with collapse. The difference was they didn't stop there. They kept going, and because they did, the story changed. Your setback doesn't define you. It's a moment, not your identity. It's a chapter, not your conclusion. It doesn't dictate your destiny unless you allow it to. You hold the pen, and it's time to write differently. The first step is to face the truth without fear, without denial, and without disguise. Most people avoid the truth because it hurts. They hide behind excuses or blame, thinking that avoidance equals protection. But you cannot change what you refuse to confront. Honesty is the first step toward healing. Transformation begins with truth, so sit down with yourself. Strip away the stories, the justifications, the noise. Ask the hard questions. What choices led me here? What patterns repeated? What did I avoid? Not to punish yourself, but to find clarity, because clarity is power. Most people stay stuck not because their problems are too big, but because their pride is. They protect their ego instead of their growth. They'd rather be right than free, but growth requires evolution, and evolution begins with truth. Say to yourself, this is what happened. No more denial, no more excuses, no more hiding. That moment of honesty is the moment healing begins. Because you can't heal what you keep pretending doesn't hurt. Lies weigh you down, truth sets you free. When you tell yourself the truth, you strip the situation of confusion. You stop needing sympathy or validation. You stop defending the pain. You reclaim your power, your voice, and your direction. The truth isn't about reliving the pain. It's about releasing it. When you see clearly, you stop dramatizing. You stop being the victim and start becoming the architect of your comeback. And here's the beauty of truth forgiveness lives there. You can't forgive yourself for what you won't admit. You can't release others for what you still bury. But when you face it fully, honestly, you can say, this happened, I own it, I release it, and I'm moving on. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about refusing to let it hold your power. The next shift is separating failure from your identity. What happened is something you experienced, not who you are. Losing a job doesn't mean you lost your value. Making a mistake doesn't mean you are one. Falling short doesn't make you broken. Failure is an event, not a label. And those who rise know this truth deeply. They don't let failure define them, they let it refine them. They extract the lessons without carrying the shame. At some point, you must stop saying, I'm not enough, and start saying, that didn't work, but I will try again. That's where strength meets compassion, when you stop punishing yourself and start supporting yourself. Identity drives behavior. If you believe you're broken, you'll act like it. But if you see yourself as someone who's rebuilding, you'll move differently. You'll show up differently. You'll begin to rebuild from strength, not from shame. After a setback, reconnect with your reason, your why. When life collapses, motivation fades, but meaning endures. You don't need more hype. You need a reason that's stronger than the resistance. Something deeply personal, something that makes giving up feel like betrayal. Your reason might be your family, your future, your calling, or your inner promise to yourself. Whatever it is, let it be sacred. Write it, speak it, feel it, because when the storm hits again, and it will, that reason will hold you upright. Then shift your language. The words you use either empower your healing or prolong your hurt. Every time you say, I'm stuck, you reinforce it. Every time you say, this is impossible, you make it so. Speak like the person you're becoming, not the one who broke. Say, I'm learning. Say, I'm adjusting. Say, this is shaping me. Don't lie to yourself, lead yourself. Speak from vision, not from victimhood. Your words become your direction. They reshape your focus, your energy, your confidence. Speak life into your future. Stop describing your story like nothing can change. You are not what happened, you are what you decide to build next. Start small. Rebuild momentum, one small win at a time. You don't need to do something massive. You just need to move even a tiny step. Small wins rebuild trust with yourself. Every little action reminds your mind that you're not stuck anymore. Momentum isn't magic. It's movement, repeated. Don't wait to feel ready, move until you are. Readiness is created through action, not before it. And while you move, protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. After a fall, your energy is fragile. Protect your focus, your peace, and your emotional space. Not everyone deserves access to you during your rebuild. Silence the noise, the gossip, the overthinking. Focus your energy on healing and building. Some people will fall away. Let them. This is your sacred season of becoming. You owe no explanations. Your peace is not up for negotiation. And as you rebuild, recommit to discipline, especially when motivation fades. Discipline is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. It's what keeps you moving when your emotions don't. You get up, you show up, you act, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Discipline turns chaos into clarity. It transforms uncertainty into momentum. And as you grow, remember this pain is not punishment. It's a path. It's a teacher revealing what you need to see, what you need to change, what you've been avoiding. Pain is not the end. It's the doorway to wisdom. You can resist it or you can use it, and when you use it, pain becomes your ally in transformation. Finally, get clear on who you are becoming. Don't aim to return to who you were before the fall. That version of you no longer exists. You've outgrown them. You're becoming wiser, deeper, and more intentional. This is your evolution. Ask yourself, what habits must die for me to grow? What beliefs must shift? Who am I now after everything I've endured? When you move with that clarity, you stop repeating the past. You stop explaining your growth. You stop apologizing for your evolution. You build quietly, intentionally, powerfully. Because the comeback isn't about proving anything to anyone, it's about proving to yourself that you can rebuild your life from the ashes. Every small act of resilience, every quiet decision to keep moving writes the next chapter of your story. The comeback is not in the applause or the recognition. It's in the quiet determination to rise again, wiser and more grounded than before. So if you take one message from this, let it be this: setbacks are not the end of your story. They're the start of your next chapter. You already have everything you need inside you to turn your pain into power and your struggle into strength. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need to decide. Your comeback starts today, not tomorrow, not someday, today.